course, of John Green, who has compiled a statistical survey of over 1,000 reported sightings of the Sasquatch. Firstly, John, can you tell me how long have you been doing this sort of work?
41 years.
And what motivated you to?
Well, the Sasquatch story starts in this area, and I had bought the weekly newspaper here. I grew up in Vancouver, I was familiar with the Sasquatch, as everybody was, stories in the papers and so on, but of course we all just thought it was a tall tale. And then there was some flurry of excitement around here when the suggestion was made that we have a centennial Sasquatch hunt in 1958. And I began to realize that I was hearing serious stories from people who I already knew or knew by reputation. So I started looking into it, and it was quite obvious that there was actual substance to the story. So, and the following year, this was in 1957 that this went on. In 58, there was a picture in the province of a man down in California holding a cast of a footprint. So I went down there to look into that and saw some footprints myself. And, these footprints are real. Something has to make them. It's a bipedal ape. I mean, you see, you've got two facts that cannot be in any way challenged. Something makes huge, somewhat human-like footprints. And it should be possible to find out what that something is. And also, all over the world and throughout history, and very much so at the present time, people have been describing seeing these very large, hair-covered, bipedal animals. There is an animal which accounts for all the stories and the footprints, or else this has been a human activity throughout the world and throughout history, manufacturing evidence that such an animal exists. And the test of Occam's razor is that you take the simpler explanation.
Right.
And the simpler explanation is that there must be such an animal. Presuming you're looking at an adult, it would be much bigger than a human. If it were in a normal position, or if it were traveling, it would be upright, moving like a human. It would be totally covered with hair. It would be not only much taller than a human, but proportionately wider and proportionately thicker through to a much more extreme extent. Like the average human can wriggle under the bottom rungs on an old wooden kitchen chair.
Mm-hmm.
A Sasquatch of the same dimensions wouldn't be able to go under the seat of the chair, or would hardly would be able to. So you have a thing that is immensely heavier than a human. And for a big one, a weight of a ton is not at all out of proportion according to the way they're built. The range of noises that have been claimed for this thing is very wide. The most usual one is a high-pitched scream. But we don't have a single instance of anybody recording the sound and at the same time recording the creature that's making it. So really all of the sound evidence is speculative. You can't claim anything factual. This is the sound a Sasquatch is making. It might be, in some cases probably is, but